When you're old and alone, these daily habits can keep you happy and connected. Have you ever wondered what life might feel like if one day you found yourself growing old? Alone? Most people don't think about it until it happens. When the kids move away, old friends pass on, and each day becomes quieter than the last, the silence can feel almost overwhelming. The truth is, growing older alone can be one of life's greatest challenges, but it doesn't have to be a tragedy. With the right mindset and a few simple daily habits, you can create a life that feels peaceful, fulfilling, and deeply meaningful, even if you're on your own. In today's video, I want to share with you 7 essential habits that every older adult living alone should embrace. These aren't just ways to pass the time. These are habits designed to keep your mind sharp, your body strong, your emotions balanced, and most importantly, to help you enjoy your days with intention and grace. Because the difference between loneliness and peaceful solitude often comes down to small, everyday choices. If you want to avoid regret, emotional emptiness, and the slow ache of isolation in later life, stay with me until the end of this video. These 7 habits can completely transform the way you approach aging, helping you build a life that is rich in meaning, full of freedom, and truly your own. So let's begin with habit number 1. Spend time in nature, because even a little, every day goes a long way. Here's something people often overlook. Just stepping outside, breathing in fresh air, and noticing the greenery around you can immediately lift your spirit. That's why the first habit I'm sharing with you today is simple but powerful. Make nature part of your daily life. It might sound basic, but the benefits are anything but. Researchers at Stanford University found that just 90 minutes of walking in a natural setting significantly reduces activity in the parts of the brain associated with depression. In other words, nature has the power to ease sadness and worry, naturally and safely. Even more impressively, Nobel Prize-winning biologist Dr. Elizabeth Blackburn discovered that regular contact with nature helps preserve telomeres, those tiny caps at the ends of our DNA that determine how fast we age. Being close to nature can literally help us age more slowly and healthily. Dr. Mark Cohen, a renowned integrative medicine specialist, calls nature the simplest, most effective form of therapy for older adults. And the best part? This medicine is free. You don't need to travel far. Just open the door, step onto your porch, or sit under a familiar tree in the neighborhood park. That alone can work wonders. I remember a conversation I once had with Linda, a 77-year-old woman who had struggled with chronic insomnia for years. Her children encouraged her to try medication and therapy, but nothing seemed to work long-term. Then one day, she adopted a simple habit. Every morning, after washing her face, she'd step into her garden, water the plants, and sit quietly on a stone bench for 15 minutes. She listened to the birds, watched the morning sun filter through the leaves, and within a few weeks, her sleep had drastically improved. She told me, "I never realized how gently nature could hold you." If you live alone or often wake to quiet, empty mornings, try this simple act. Open a window, step outside your front door, take a slow stroll around your home, feel the sunlight on your face, the breeze brushing your skin, the scent of the trees or flowers nearby. Even just 10 minutes of this each day can warm your spirit in the most natural way. Did you do something like that this morning? If so, how did it make you feel? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. And if you believe this habit could bring peace to someone else, please like this video and share it with a loved one. You never know. You might be the one planting a seed of calm in their life. Now, if the body is your home, then the mind is the light that fills it. And let's be honest, no one wants to live in a house that feels dim and lifeless. That's why habit number 2 is all about keeping your mind active. Even just a little effort each day can help illuminate your inner world and keep your thinking clear and vibrant. When we're younger, our minds are constantly stimulated by work, family, responsibilities. But as we age, especially when living alone, that mental pace slows down. And if we don't actively engage our brains, they can begin to quietly shut down. But here's the beautiful truth. The brain doesn't age nearly as fast as we think, unless we let it. According to the National Institute on Aging, seniors who learn new skills, like painting, playing music, or even doing crossword puzzles, show significantly better brain function than those who don't. Their memory improves, their mood becomes more balanced. Most importantly, they feel younger. Dr. Gary Small, a well-known geriatric expert from UCLA, once said, "When you learn something new, you're not just gaining knowledge, you're teaching your brain how to stay young." I remember talking to Juan, an 81-year-old man living alone in Texas. He decided to learn the ukulele using YouTube videos. Every morning, he played for 30 minutes. Within weeks, his memory sharpened, His irritability faded, and most of all, he looked forward to each day. He smiled and told me that I may not play well, but my soul is dancing again. So if you've been feeling a little foggy, forgetful, or mentally stuck, maybe it's time to flip the switch again. It doesn't have to be anything big. Read an article, try a new app, listen to a podcast, write a poem. Even learning how to adjust the settings on your TV can give your brain a mini workout. Here at Golden Wise Elders, we believe that growing older doesn't mean the end of learning. In fact, it might just be the best time of your life to learn, for the joy of it and for yourself. So today, if you could learn something new, what would it be? Leave a comment below and share it with me, because who knows? What you choose might just inspire someone else to begin their journey too. And if after just a few minutes of listening, you feel your mind a little clearer, your heart a little lighter, then don't hesitate to give this video a like. Subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, and let's keep having these valuable, heartfelt conversations. Once a week, just you and me. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how one whole day can pass and no one calls? No one asks what you had for lunch or even just checks in to say hello? That kind of silence, it doesn't just echo in the room, it echoes in the heart. And that's not just a feeling, it's a signal. A very real message from your body and your soul that says you need connection, you need people, you still need to be seen. That's why habit number 3, one of the most powerful of all, is this. Stay socially connected every single day, because connection isn't about being popular or making small talk. It's about reminding yourself that you're still here, that you still matter, that you still belong. There's research from AARP showing that seniors with strong social ties are 26% less likely to suffer a stroke. But beyond the science, there's something else. Joy. Hope. The kind of joy you feel when you laugh with an old friend over something that happened 40 years ago. The kind of hope that returns when you remember you are not alone. A single phone call won't change the whole world, but it can change how your world feels that day. Dr. Vivek Murthy, former U.S. Surgeon General, once said something I've never forgotten. Loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It sounds extreme, but it's true, because isolation doesn't just weaken the heart. It wears down the soul. It slowly erodes the brightness inside us all. Let me tell you about Doris, age 75. After her husband passed away, the calls stopped, the visits disappeared, and she slowly retreated into her quiet little world. Until one morning, she pulled out her old address book and made a decision. She called 3 friends from her nursing days. The first chat lasted a few minutes, the next one hours. Soon came the text messages, handwritten notes, and even video calls filled with shared laughter. She told me, "I don't feel like I live alone anymore. I just live a little farther away from the people I love." You can live alone, but no one is born to live in silence. So if your heart feels a little too quiet today, reach out. Call someone you haven't spoken to in a while. You don't need a reason. Just ask, "Hey, how have you been?" Or "Still tending to your little garden out back?" And if no one comes to mind just yet, don't worry. Here on Golden Wise Elders, you always have someone to talk to. Every week, every video. Now take a moment. Who will you call today? And if you feel up to it, go ahead and type their name in the comments below. Who knows? Maybe just writing it down will be the gentle push you need to pick up the phone. Now let's talk about your body. Do you remember how good it feels to stretch deeply, to really open up your limbs and breathe? Or that simple moment when you step outside, walk a few laps around your yard, and suddenly feel lighter, clearer, more awake? That's not your imagination. That's your body smiling, because it finally feels cared for. Habit number 4, move your body every day, even just a little, because here's the truth. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And this is something I say often to the older adults I speak with. We don't grow weaker because we age. We grow weaker because we stop moving. Every step you take today is tomorrow's thank you. That's the power of daily movement. A study from Harvard Medical School found that adults over 65 who walk for at least 30 minutes a day are 41% less likely to die prematurely. And no, you don't need to run. You don't need a gym membership. You don't even need fancy equipment. You just need to move regularly. Dr. Jason Karlowich, a leading geriatrician at the University of Pennsylvania, once said something I've never forgotten. Every day you don't move is a day your memory begins to fade. Movement isn't just good for your heart or joints. It sends oxygen to your brain, keeps your mind sharp, and lifts your entire mood. Let me share a story about Ken, a 79-year-old man from Ohio. After retiring, he spent most of his time sitting in front of the television. But everything changed when his doctor suggested a simple routine, just a morning walk. He started with 5 minutes, then 10, then 20. After 3 months, not only did he feel stronger, but he even reduced his blood pressure medication. The best part he told me was this: I finally feel like I'm living again, not just waiting. Getting older doesn't take your strength away. It only asks if you're willing to keep it. So if you've been sitting too long today, stand up. Roll your shoulders, stretch your neck, walk a few steps around the house. And if you're listening to this while lying down, make a promise to yourself. Once this video ends, get up and do something kind for your body. At Golden Wise Elders, we believe that small movements create big change, and every step you take, no matter how gentle, is a way of telling your body, I still need you, I still care about you. Do you already have a daily movement habit? Do you prefer walking, light exercise, or simply keeping busy around the house? Tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to hear what's working for you. And if your body has been asking for a fresh start, hit the like button right now as a quiet commitment to yourself. Don't forget to share this video with someone you care about. And make sure to subscribe to Golden Wise Elders because we have many more journeys ahead, and I'd love to walk them with you. Have you ever laid down at night, stared at the ceiling, and felt like the day just quietly slipped away? Sometimes, what weighs us down the most isn't sadness. It's that feeling that nothing truly happened, that there was nothing worth remembering. That's why habit number 5, one I warmly invite you to try, is this: practice gratitude every day. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most powerful emotional habits, especially for those who live alone. If you can't find anything to be grateful for today, maybe you're looking in the wrong direction. Science supports this. A study published in the journal Psychology and Aging found that older adults who made a daily habit of writing down 2 or 3 things they were grateful for not only felt more positive, but also slept better, experienced less chronic pain, and reported a deeper sense of purpose. Dr. Robert Emmons, one of the leading researchers on gratitude, once said, "Gratitude doesn't change your circumstances, it changes how you experience them, and sometimes that's all it takes to create a little magic." Let me tell you about Henry, 83 years old. After losing his wife, he spent months drifting through his days. Nothing felt joyful anymore. But one day, at his grandson's suggestion, he tried a small shift. Every morning, he wrote a simple line starting with, "Today I'm grateful for." At first, it was ordinary things like, "My pillow felt soft last night," or "That bowl of oatmeal tasted just right." But gradually, something beautiful happened. His view of life began to change. Henry told me, "I realized that even though I live alone, there's still so much to appreciate. Birds outside my window, meals I cook for myself, and the quiet peace that not everyone gets to enjoy." When you look at life through the lens of gratitude, even the most ordinary things become extraordinary. If you've never tried this, why not start tonight? Before you go to sleep, write down 3 things you're thankful for today. They don't have to be big. It could be as simple as, "I heard a lovely story today on Golden Wise Elders." You might be surprised. The more you write, the lighter your heart becomes. The more you notice the good, the more goodness life begins to show you. So I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're grateful for today? Drop it in the comments because your words might just inspire someone else who's reading. Now let me ask you something deeper. Do you know what makes many older adults feel most invisible? It's not illness. It's not a lack of money. It's that painful sense that they're no longer needed. Maybe you felt it too. When your children no longer ask your advice, when old friends no longer call, when the days go by and it feels like no one is waiting for you anymore. But here's what I want you to know. The moment you help someone, even in a small way, your life begins to shift. Habit number 6, and one that I truly hope you'll embrace, is this: find one way, just one small way, to help someone every day. When you give, it's not just others who receive, your own heart begins to heal. A study from Carnegie Mellon University found that older adults who regularly help others through teaching, volunteering, or even simple check-ins with neighbors tend to have stronger immune systems, healthier hearts, and live up to 5 years longer than those who don't. Dr. Aisher Stephen Post, a respected expert in aging and emotional health, once said, "When older adults give to others, they feel younger, not just emotionally, but even biologically." I'll never forget the story of Margaret, age 82. She had been a nurse for 40 years, and after retirement, her life suddenly quieted. She told me, "No one needed me anymore." Then one day, she came across a post asking for volunteers to write encouraging letters to cancer patients. She signed up. Every evening, she sat down and wrote 2 letters, carefully, in her gentle handwriting, drawing on decades of compassion and care. Just weeks later, she began receiving responses, notes of gratitude, tears of joy, Messages filled with hope. She said to me, "It feels like I came back to life, like I'm back in my element. I never thought that at my age, I could still make someone smile." Getting older doesn't make you any less valuable. It just makes it easier to forget how much you still have to give. And you know what? Helping doesn't have to be big. A kind word, a quick call to a fellow elder, an extra bowl of soup shared with a neighbor. Sometimes it's the smallest gesture that softens someone's hardest day. Here on Golden Wise Elders, we believe that every older adult is a treasure chest filled with wisdom, stories, and quiet love. And when you open that up and share it with the world, you're leaving behind something beautiful. So take a moment now. Who could you help today? Maybe it's a phone call, a short message of encouragement, or maybe it's sharing this video with someone who really needs to hear these words. If you've ever helped someone and felt your own heart grow warmer because of it, please share that story in the comments, because your kindness might just inspire someone else to reach out too. And if you still have so much left to give, hit the like button and subscribe to Golden Wise Elders. This is a space that will always remind you you are still needed, you still matter, and your kindness is still making the world better, one quiet act at a time. Now let me ask, have you ever had a day where time just slipped by and left no trace behind? You wake up late, skip breakfast, sit in front of the TV, then look up, and suddenly, it's already evening. There's nothing wrong with that once in a while, but if every day starts to look like that, it's easy to feel like life has paused, and that brings us to habit number 7, one that's often overlooked, but incredibly powerful. Create a daily routine. If you don't plan your day ends up planning you. A well-known study from Duke University found that older adults who follow a regular daily schedule with clear time blocks and purposeful structure are less likely to suffer from depression, sleep better, and are 36% less likely to experience cognitive decline than those without a routine. Dr. Susan Charles, an expert in aging and mental health, once said something simple yet profound. You don't need a grand routine. You just need a reason to wake up in the morning. I remember meeting Rose, age 80, at a small community gathering. She told me, "There were days I woke up and didn't know what I was supposed to do. Everything felt pointless." But then she started jotting down a simple daily plan. Wake up at 7 a.m., tea at 8, water the plants at 9. That small habit changed everything. She laughed and said something I hope you'll remember too. When today has a plan, tomorrow stops feeling scary. You see, routines don't confine you. They free you from drifting, from emptiness, from passively waiting. When you know what your morning looks like, what you'll eat, who you'll call, or even just when you'll take a walk, you stop letting time slip away and start savoring it. Now maybe you're wondering, do I really need to write it down? You don't have to detail every hour, but just wake up each day with one clear intention, a reason to live that day well. Here on Golden Wise Elders, we believe that daily intention is a form of quiet power, and you still have that power in your hands because you still deserve a life that has rhythm, meaning, and presence. So today, what would you like to add to your routine? A morning playlist, a short call to your grandkids, or maybe a peaceful cup of tea on your porch? Dear friend, we've just walked together through 7 simple habits, but each one holds the power to shape a rich, meaningful, joyful life in your later years. Spending time in nature to refresh your spirit, keeping your mind sharp through curiosity and learning, connecting with others because we all need to feel heard, moving your body so your heart keeps beating strong, practicing gratitude so no day feels wasted, helping others to remind yourself that you still matter, and finally, giving your days structure so time feels like a gift, not an empty space. I don't know where you're listening from. Maybe your favorite chair, maybe a quiet corner of your home, or perhaps lying down after a long day. But I do know this. If you've stayed with me until the very end, your heart is still searching for something warmer, something more peaceful. So let me say this to you. Slowly, gently, sincerely. Aging is not the end of the story. It's the most beautiful chapter, where you finally get to choose how you live and why. You may still feel tired. You may still feel forgotten in a world that moves too fast. But don't believe those feelings for too long. Because the truth is, if you're still listening, if you're still caring, if you're still hoping, you are still living a life that matters. From the sun you chose to sit under, to the warm drink you made for yourself, to the kind words you might text someone today. Those are all signs that you still have so much to give and even more to receive. If something in today's video touched your heart, keep it with you. Hit the like button, not for me, but as a quiet promise to yourself. Today I chose to love myself a little more. If you believe someone else needs to hear this, please share this video with them. You might be the reason their day turns around. And if you want to continue this journey, this path of strength, kindness, and heart, subscribe to Golden Wise Elders and turn on the bell. Let's meet here again each week like two old friends chatting in the golden afternoon light, because you're not alone. And starting today, you never have to feel alone again. Thank you for staying with me until the very end. Until next time, take care of yourself. I'll be here, waiting for our next quiet moment together.